Alright, let's just get right to it. So you're floating through space, maybe on a vacation, maybe because Earth finally gave up, or maybe Elon Musk offered discount space tours for Black Friday. Either way, you're out there. In the void, suddenly you see something big, dark, and ominous. And you realize, uh-oh, that black hole. Now before we get to what happens when you fall into one, let's take a second to figure out, what is a black hole anyway? Okay, imagine stuffing something the size of the Sunday into a sphere only a few kilometers wide, or cramming Earth into a thimble. That's the level of density we're dealing with here. A black hole is essentially gravity gone rogue. It did a region of space where gravity is so strong, literally nothing, not even light, can escape. Thatting why it black, and that here also why when you fall in, there are no coming back, till with me. Cool. Let's say for reasons known only to your incredibly questionable judgment, you are drifting a bit too close, and then, WOS, you get pulled in now. Here is the wild part. You probably wouldn't even realize it at first. Seriously, from far away a black hole seems kind of chill. No giant vacuum cleaner sounds, no cosmic monster music in the background. If you are far enough, it's about as calm as outer space gets, but then you cross a truly horrifying boundary called the event horizon. This is the no-return line. Once you are past it, you're done. No escaping, no turning around, not even if you had the warp drive from Star Trek, a can of Red Bull, and the full Avengers working on it. Okay, so what actually happens to you? Let us say you're falling into a black hole feet first. Good luck. As you get closer, gravity starts acting really weird. This part is called spaghettification. Yes, that's what the real word scientists use, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Because gravity is way stronger at your feet than it is at your head, your body starts stretching. First, it feels like a stretch, then it feels like a bad yoga class, then your atoms are like, boake, that enough, as they're pulled apart into a long, thin strand, like spaghetti, and that not just poetic horror, into actual physics. In technical terms, this is what is known as tidal forces. Just like the moon causes tides on Earth by pulling on our oceans, the black hole does the same to you, but instead of gently sloshing around some seawater, it literally rips you apart. But wait, it gets weirder. Let's just say someone, your best friend, your mom, maybe a curious alien, watching you fall in from a safe distance. What would they see? Here's the trippy part. They do never actually see you fall in, from their perspective. You do slow down as you got closer to the event horizon, slower and slower. And eventually you do just freeze in time right at the edge like a glitchy loading screen. That because of something called gravitational time dilation. Basically, the intense gravity near a black hole messes with time itself. For you, time feels normal, but for everyone else, you just kind of fade out, and your image would gradually turn redder and dimmer until you disappeared completely. To them, it do look like you got stuck in time. Taya though, oh, you're still falling, and it's just still going downhill fast. Now at this point, what happens next kind of depends on the type of black hole. There are a few actually. First, we've got stellar black holes. These are formed when massive stars collapse at the end of their lives. They like the teenage punks of the black hole world, small, angry, destructive, and they'd 100% kill you via spaghettification before you even reach the center. Then there are supermassive black holes. These live at the centers of galaxies, including, fun fact, the one right in the middle of our Milky Way. They millions or even billions of times the mass of the Sunday, kind of like cosmic sumo wrestlers, but with infinite gravitational pull. Because they're so huge, the tidal forces near the event horizon are much weaker, which mean you might survive longer as you fall in, but it really just a longer, slower death, like watching paint dry on the surface of a neutron star. Trippy and terrifying, and then physics throws another curveball. Nobody actually knows what happens in the center of a black hole. Science just sort of shrugs and says, singularity. A singularity is a point where gravity becomes infinite, space and time break down, and all our current physical laws just stop working. Which is comforting, right? Yep. At the very center, the laws of the universe basically throw their hands in the air and walk off the job. All mass is crushed down into a single point of infinite density. Try explaining that with your high school physics. Even Einstein wasn't sure what to do with this part. So essentially, if you survive the fall into a supermassive black hole, and that's a big if you end up in this place or non-place where the universe doesn't really know what to make of you. Now at this point, let's talk about the real sci-fi stuff. What if, instead of dying, you traveled somewhere else? Some scientists have speculated that black holes might be wormholes, essentially portals to other parts of the universe, or other dimensions, or even other universes, in theory, if you could somehow avoid being torn apart. Which again, spaghettification. And if the black hole conveniently turned into a wormhole just for you, maybe, just maybe, you could pop out the other side somewhere far, far away, or in the past or the future, or like in an alternate universe where dinosaurs wear suits and work in accounting. It would wild speculation. But hey, that and half the fun of black holes. And here in another mind-bender, black holes don't just sit around eating stars and light for eternity. They can actually evaporate. Yep, over insanely long periods of time. Black holes slowly leak energy. This is thanks to a theory by none other than Stephen Hawking, cue applause, called Hawking radiation weighing. So black holes can die. Yup, given enough time, trillions upon trillions of years, they slowly emit radiation and shrink until they poof out of existence in one final burst of energy. Which, honestly, is kind of poetic. Imagine the last thing in the universe being a dying black hole sighing itself into nothingness. So to recap, if you fall into a black hole, here in your to-do list. 1. Say goodbye to everyone you know toin. Prepare to stretch like warm mozzarella. 3. Watch reality fall apart. 4. Possibly travel to a different universe. 5. Probably die anyways. 6. Oh, and your last text probably won't send. Sorry, but hey, there is a silver lining to all of this. Black holes may be terrifying, mysterious death traps, but studying them is actually super helpful. They help us understand how gravity works, test our theories of space and time, and push the limits of what we know about the universe. Without black holes, physics would be, well, still hard, but less epic, and thanks to stuff like the Event Horizon Telescope, we've even seen a black hole, or at least its shadow, that blurry orange donut everyone got excited about in 2019. That was it. Proof that these monsters are real and even more fascinating than we imagined. So next time you look up at the stars and feel small, remember, somewhere out there gravity is out of control, eating light for breakfast, bending reality, and being a total drama queen. And you know what? We love it. Because black holes aren't just terrifying, okay, beautiful. They're the universe's best mysteries wrapped in the universe. Per worst hugs. So what if you fell into a black hole? Probably the worst trip of your life, but also maybe the greatest cosmic adventure ever. Want more wild space stuff like this? Don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons and leave a comment. What space mystery should we dive into next? Remember, space is big, weird, and full of questions. Let's keep asking them together. Until next time, stay curious and try not to fall into any black holes. Peace out, Earthlings.